right, thank you everybody for coming. This project was spanned 3 cohorts last spring, this fall, and this spring. And the idea was that the kids, in honor of Bob and the Craven family, wanted to immortalize their name and Scott's legacy at our school, given that he was a grad and Bob has done so much for our school. So this whole project spanned over a year and was put together by about 40 students, and they did the bulk of the work. All right, we couldn't have done this project without the help of Connie and Sean. They really were the driving factors throughout all of this. So let's give them a big hand. And the thought process behind this memorial is that once you see it, the goal is that for cohorts on, that we will be able to add names of fallen veterans that are alumni through this school, but all in Scott's legacy and honor. All right, so at this time, I would like to introduce Melissa.
Imagine a skinny first grade boy with brown hair and bright blue eyes telling his classmates about the model airplane he brought in for show and tell. The same little boy bringing home a craft of a cutout telephone on which he had written, "God is calling me to be a pilot." Tons of G.I. Joes around his house, and the Halloween costumes, both soldier and pilot, of course. This was Scott. He had a dream, a mission, to become a pilot ever since he was a little boy. As a child, Scott was quiet and shy. Over the years, he grew into himself and built a quiet confidence that he carried with him for the remainder of his time. Through years of hard work and commitment, he eventually realized that dream of becoming a pilot. He overcame obstacles, he had faith, he believed in himself, and of course, he put in the work. But there was so much more to him than a young man that was focused on his dream. Throughout his life, he was an athlete. He wasn't always the fastest or the strongest on the field or court, but you would be hard-pressed to find someone working harder than him. He led quietly by example and enjoyed the camaraderie of teammates. On a personal level, he was kind, warm, fun-loving, and lighthearted. The kind of guy you felt like you knew for years after only talking to him for a few minutes. He was someone you could confide in. He was supportive and would often try to lighten a tense situation with a joke. Scott had a love for learning, whether it was while flying, in the classroom, outdoors learning new sports like rugby and rock climbing, in the kitchen, often calling Mom for cooking advice, or even under the hood of his car. Again, often calling home, this time asking Dad to walk him through fixing his car from thousands of miles away. He wasn't afraid to try new things, to tackle new challenges. It seemed like everything was an opportunity to learn, to try something new, to add a new experience to his collection. Literally, up until his last day. He went surfing for the first time. He said the waves beat him up a little bit, but he had a great time and planned to get out there and do it again. He was always pushing himself, trying to learn more, to accomplish more, experience more. This appreciation and zest for life made his time here so full. Scott was never complacent. He was consistently focused on being the best version of himself. He had strong morals. He was compassionate, honest, and humble. He cared for his community and simply believed in doing the right thing. He put in the effort to ensure his lifestyle aligned with his values. A fitting example of this is when he volunteered as a mentor at an elementary school in Valdosta, Georgia, where he was stationed. The school noticed changes in some of the students whose parents were deployed and felt those children might benefit from one-on-one time with a mentor, someone for them to spend time with, a positive adult influence, someone in uniform to share a meal with during school, or even talk to about missing their parents. Scott recognized the difficult time these children were going through and stepped up along with 8 other pilots to volunteer their time so these children had something to look forward to. We're lucky enough to have another one of those initial volunteers and one of Scott's best friends here with us today. Scott was passionate about this program. He knew how important it was for those children to have a role model to be around while missing one of, if not the most important person in their life. Scott made this a priority, even with a full schedule as an instructor pilot and student studying for his master's in aeronautical engineering. Of course, it would have been easier to overlook this opportunity, but I believe Scott felt that ethos you may have heard once or twice. If not me, then who? Scott was able to recognize the bigger picture and dedicate himself to the greater good. This program has grown over the years and has since been renamed in his honor. We talk about Scott a lot in our family. I talk about him often to my children. Of course, we talk about how awesome he was because he was a pilot and captain of the football team, because he was funny and smart and willing to dedicate his life to our country. But what I really hope my children and niece and nephew learn when we speak about Scott is to view life the same way Scott did. To pursue your passion with determination and integrity. When faced with inevitable obstacles, to have faith, believe in yourself, and persevere. Along your journey, remember to treat each day as an opportunity to learn and to have fun. To be mindful of how you treat others and to be grateful for your blessings. To spend time with family and friends and to find joy in simple everyday pleasures. To live your life with passion, with purpose, and with pride. Thank you.
All right, at this time, I am going to step aside as we are going to unveil this memorial. And the benches are a part of the memorial. I don't know if you all know this, but Bob is here every single day at school. Every day. He is teaching in our school now, volunteering, not getting paid. He reminds me often that he's retired, but he's not really retired. So Bob, these benches are out here so that you can come out here and be with Scott anytime. All right? And I'm going to step away now. Give the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everybody. All right, at this time, we're going to have some pictures, and then we will head inside for the graduation at about 3 o'clock. All right, thank you, everybody.